Thank you, Michael, and welcome everyone. Recapping the Notre Dame game up at Notre Dame here last week. I was just again overall really pleased with the entire game and how sharp we played, really in all aspects. I mean that by I think we had 4 penalties on the day. 2 were intentional because of punting situations. We didn't have a turnover. We forced turnovers, had very few mental mistakes. I thought the defense came out obviously very aggressive, getting them in the 3rd and long in the first series and coming off the edge, and we got a great blitz on, and Eric Stryker knocks the ball loose. Corey Nelson scores with it, and come back the very next series and get another turnover, another interception. And so great play by Aaron Colvin to deflect the ball up in the air, and then Frank Shannon makes the interception. So, they came out and really jump-started us the way the defense played, and played well throughout the day. Really, I thought overall just really strong, in particular against the pass, really covered well, got good pressure. And then offensively, I was really excited again. Blake Bell had an excellent day throwing the football. I was really proud of our offensive line. We ran the ball well, no sacks on the day, no turnovers. That's really sharp in the way we played. The offensive line, they were the player of the game, along with Blake Bell and Sterling Shepard. Sterling had some big plays. Blake showed a lot of poise going on the road and handling the whole situation, the line of scrimmage, getting the calls. Really played great that way. Some players of the game on defense were Jordan Phillips, Corey Nelson again, and Zach Sanchez. They were the guys that were credited with players of the game. I thought our kicking game was really strong. Again, Michael Honeycutt made all his kicks, kicked the ball out of the end zone for the most part on kickoffs. Best part of the day, I thought we were determined to really play a good fourth quarter. And I thought every time if they scored, then we responded, and got a couple of field goals, and then got the touchdown, made the 2-point conversion. And then defensively, we finished the game. We go 3 straight 3-and-outs in the last 3 series of the game, all 3 of them 3-and-outs, and then the offense to use 5:39 on the clock, and they have 2 timeouts to run it out. By running the football and using the clock was really, it's just really pleasing to see both sides to complement each other, to play so well in the fourth quarter when it really mattered. So it was really a solid game all around. Brings us now back at home to TCU, another good football team. They played a tough early schedule, but again, we're very aware of what a good football team they are. They always play great defense. They still do, and playing well. So it'll be another challenge here this weekend playing TCU here. Boykin, their quarterback, I think does an excellent job running their offense. He gives you the extra dimension of being able to run with the ball as well as throw it. They got a big play guy in Carter, who made some big plays against us a year ago. He's a great return guy as well. So anyway, we're excited to keep building on the year. We're only 4 games into it. We've got all Big 12 games remaining. So even watching our game this past week, we got to keep improving from it, and I believe we can. The players can see some obvious errors in what we're doing, that we can be a lot better in certain instances. So that's what we'll keep pushing for. So,
what do you know about this team, Bob, that a month ago you didn't know?
Well, we're 4-0. So that's.
You did not expect to be 4-0?
Sure, I did. I don't. So what are you saying what do we know at this point? We know we've played pretty well in 4 games, and we've got 8, hopefully 9 more coming. So we're a month into it and progressing. We're nowhere near a finished product. We can get a lot better in a lot of areas, and that's what we're going to keep working for.
What about Saturday, Bob? Did you learn something about your team Saturday that you weren't sure of going into that game?
I wouldn't say I wasn't sure of, but what I had hoped to see would be a team that would handle themselves with poise, and we did. Play hard, play tough, play smart, be physical. Those were the things that I have seen us, we've been doing through the year, and just because you go on the road, it shouldn't change, and we were able to do that. So I guess we were, but again, that's. I can't say that I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting us to play like we did.
Can you talk about, in terms of expecting it, to play as well as you had to have guys that have not played much really step up. Guys like Sanchez was second on a depth chart, and here he's your player of the game. Jordan Phillips as well. These guys that hadn't played have emerged.
But that isn't all that unnatural. We have guys graduate and have young guys every year that come up and play. This isn't the NFL. We don't have our guys. We never have guys that stay here more than 4 and 5 years. So there's always new guys emerging. The fact that all our scrimmages aren't open, all our practices aren't open, no one else gets to see it. I get to see them every day. I know what they're capable of. And so I can't, why would I be surprised? I've seen these guys play and play and play and make plays against each other. We go good against good in everything we do all year out there on the field. So if they can make plays against each other, why wouldn't they make them against other people? So in the end, I get it where some guys you guys haven't seen a lot on the field. But we get to see them all the time as coaches. So maybe other people are surprised. We don't have to be. That's a long way of saying it. I don't know how else to say it. But these guys are all capable. And every year we have young guys that start to come up, or even maybe sophomores and juniors that aren't so young, that all of a sudden it's their opportunity and they take advantage of it and are ready to play.
Isn't it true that sometimes there's a gulf between what they're capable of and what they actually do? But I think what we're seeing through 4 games is that gulf isn't very wide if there is a gulf. So what are the intangibles that's allowing there to not be that gulf?
I don't know anything about a gulf, but I'm just saying I don't know where you're going with that. But what you're asking me is how are they able? They're paying closer attention to detail in meetings, practicing in a better way. They practice harder, more disciplined in practice, more attentive, making more plays, doing what you're supposed to do in practice, and being prepared. And so, when it happens that way during the week, you have a better chance of it happening on Saturday.
Did you talk to the development of your down lines? You won the battle Saturday in the down lines against Notre Dame, a team that reportedly has some of the better down lines on both sides of the ball, the offensive and defensive line, yet Oklahoma won that battle on Saturday. Could you talk about the development there and how far your team's come in those areas?
Well, again, the offensive line has a lot of guys back, so we were definitely more prepared for the situation. We were and played in a better way as a group, definitely. So they've worked hard through the year, and then defensive line wise, we've have young guys or guys that haven't played as much that are very capable, that are very good and talented guys that now have their opportunity and are playing well in that opportunity. And and we're not done. I mean, they've got a lot. They've got a big upside that we're not close to, and we just have to keep developing them.
When you go through a game like Notre Dame and you see Blake out there in the situations you put him in, the empty sets, able to pull the ball down and make big yards with his legs, are you just now kind of starting to see what he could be as a quarterback in a full-time quarterback, I guess?
Sure, in that naturally the more someone plays, the more they see, the more comfortable, the quicker they see things, the more comfortable they become, and I think that'll keep happening for Blake.
In terms of how you use them, trying to do a little bell-dozer, it doesn't seem like that's something you guys are focused on as much, but, are you kind of figuring out what you want to do with him in the run game, too?
To a degree, but, I was pleased overall. Our running backs accounted for, I think, like 85, 87 yards, and that adds to everything else you're doing. So, sure, different games, we may feel there's different opportunities for him to do something with the fact that he can run.
On that topic of Blake running the football, he ran 2 times in the fourth quarter after the cramping. Was that a concern of yours at the time? Like, why are we running our quarterback there? Or those look like design running plays.
I wasn't concerned, no.
Because you got 2 quarterbacks that have been injured, have leg injuries, foot injuries, and then you've got
No, that
he was
wasn't a
having
concern.
cramp.
Wasn't a concern at all.
Run after that as well, so it wasn't like you had to remind him, hey, let's hand the football off, or.
Well, again, we did what I thought we handled it really well. We didn't have to run them. We ended up running out 5:40 on the clock and 2 timeouts. So what was the issue? I mean, because we liked what we were doing outside of not running them. Yeah.
No, I was just getting to the fact that he had the cramps, and he
Yeah,
was
but then
still
he got a
rushing the
full
football.
tank of gas, so he was ready to go again. So. Yeah.
It seemed like every time Blake scrambled, something good happened. He had 2 big gains off scrambles, threw the touchdown when he drifted to the right. I mean, it seems like your old line about the worst thing you can do with Vince Young is rush him and make him leave the pocket. Is there a little bit of that, Blake's playmaking ability when he gets on the move?
Well, I think it happens a lot. The more time you give a guy when he's scrambling, you know, the better opportunity for things to break down for the defense. So he definitely, when he does scramble, can make those kind of things happen. And they've happened to us defensively at times. You know, when a guy can buy some extra time, get her out, and, you know, you sometimes your coverage will break down or you lose a guy, and that's kind of what happened in that situation. They lost him back there, and then Blake found him and got him the ball. So definitely it can, it can help you.
It seemed like you guys answered the bell a couple of times. Like when they score and get within 7, you get the touchdown right before the first half.
Well, they got within 6 even at one point, right? And
yeah,
we did. We kept answering back, and that was a big moment, I thought, when they put it to 6 and their crowd was energized and everybody, they had their beat going and they were, sensing it, and we took back the control. The offense went down and scores, and we get the 2-point conversion to get it instead of 13 to 14.
how much can that help you down the road? I mean, because I'm sure you want to score every time you get the ball, obviously, but it's like they could almost sense, hey, we need to do something with this football.
Well, I don't know that all of a sudden there's you still know you got to keep executing through the fourth quarter. So at the end of the day, your next opportunity, take advantage of it. And I'd like to think they're on point and really tuned in whether the other team has scored or not. You still have to go out and keep playing, and that's why I say it a lot. It's a long day. You don't win it in the first half. You're not going to win it in the third quarter. You've got to keep playing.
It seemed like you guys had a great plan against Nix, and whether it was Millard getting him some or Gabe just playing great or doubling him some, it looked like you pretty much neutralized him. Is that accurate?
Well, I'm not going to ever isolate another guy on another team, but at the end, Gabe Eichert had a great day. Trey Millard, at times going in to deal with them, at times we did do a nice job. He's a great player, for sure. Nix, a great player. So, but our guys and the way they played against him really did a great job. I thought, like I said, Gabe, and then the times he was doubling with guards, they really played well.
Bob, you've had in the past great success with the belldozer. Any reason why you're not using it now?
Well, the times a time or two when we did run them there on short yardage, it didn't fare very well. Some of our other sets were better, spreading them out, and some of that were, we executed in a better way. So it's something that we'll see, how much we keep working it, and it'll have its place.
Is it a classic case of a defense adjusting over time, just like we saw with option football 20, 25 years ago?
No, I don't feel that way. I don't feel that's the issue.
On those runs, it looked like he was designed to go off tackle, and he had the fullback in front of him, whereas previously he had 2 fullbacks in front of him.
Yeah, it's a different set, and obviously it didn't work very well.
When you see Trevor come in and be that effective in his drive, does it make you think anything about maybe we ought to try and put him in a little bit from time to time?
Yeah, it does. It's not a bad idea. If you think about it, then Blake gets a few series off and he's not cramping maybe, in the early third quarter. So depending on how if he gets in a situation where he's winded at all.
It's a situation where Notre Dame's obviously seen the zone read, but two straight quarters and 2.5 quarters of the offense you were playing with Blake, all of a sudden it's just a different feel and a different quarterback, and they're just not immediately ready for it.
It's a different pace, definitely, and a different speed and how he plays and the way he runs it. And sometimes we are running the same play, but it doesn't look the same because of how Trevor runs it compared to how Blake runs it. So it's anyway, he gives you a different dimension, as does Kendall. Kendall's really quick and operating with it as well.
You talked about Blake responding to his initial setback positively after a brief period. Trevor has his own issue where he's got to respond. I take it you're just as pleased with how he's handled it.
Absolutely, he's handled it in the right way and in a team way, and he's and proud of him. He went in and away from home also his first time out there, and when he got his opportunity, he helped us. He did a great job, and even at the end, people said, "Oh, he went the wrong way on the run." It was a running back went the wrong way, so he handled the situation really well.
How hard is it, or is it hard at all, after a big win like that, to get your guys refocused on the conference
It shouldn't
play?
be hard at all. We don't play 4 games. We didn't set the whole season up and work all year round to beat Notre Dame. It's part of the cycle. So we've got another game this week, an important one. They're all Big 12 games coming, and no one around here is ever satisfied with beating one team. That's not how it works. Maybe some other places, but not here. So we've got to win this week, and then the following week, and then the following week, and so next game up.
Your bunched formations, often with 2 tights, that was probably the least effective part of your offense Saturday. But I think you were in one of those when you hit the big pass to Shepard. Was that a case of just setting something up a good part of the day?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, we're not looking to have a bunch of bad plays to get one. So I just say they defended, and that's not uncommon. They defended certain sets better than others. That's why as you go through a game, you're hopefully by the 3rd and 4th quarter, the sets you feel better at than, and sometimes you're right in that sometimes those sets protect the quarterback better or set up play action passes or certain things you want to get to. So there is some, truth in that you are waiting to get to certain plays,
You have the same playbook regardless of the quarterback, but if Knight were to play occasionally, as you mentioned there, with his running ability in the option, would that make a team have to prepare a little differently?
Yeah, you probably have to prepare a little more for that, just because it's like anything. If you feel, a certain guy's better at something, you go to it a little bit more. So, I'm sure they would.
You got a couple turnovers both from your linebackers early on. How did they play in the game just their whole season, Corey?
They played really well. They played great. Heck, Frank, I think, was our leading tackler. Corey had the big plays and played super. Corey was, like I said, one of the players of the game. So they played well. We missed, I'm not going to point out, one young guy missed a fit on the long run. He's starting to drop into coverage when they're running the ball, so that's not good. It showed up, but other than that, they all played well.
After the game, Reese said that when they tried to throw, at times he thought you guys did a good job at disguising coverages and some of the things that you're doing. You've talked about being multiple on defense, and it looks like the multiple things you're doing seems to be working. Do you like the progress you're making in that area?
I do. We were very aware. I think he's one of the best I have seen and competed against at seeing what you're doing, and he's big on audibling and getting to a good play, and he did at times. He caught us in a few stunts and didn't set up well to defend him once he saw us, and he checked to some good plays. So we were the whole day trying to not show our hand in what we were in, and for the most part did a pretty good job of it. And like I said, yes, our coverage was outstanding, albeit the one we lost the tight end we shouldn't have. It's a pretty simple read for a safety, and he lets them get in behind him, and and that's our breakdown. And again, they'll take advantage of it though when you foul it up.
Bob, what have the 3 new coaches done for your team and program?
They've all contributed in a great way. They're doing a great job. I'm really excited. Obviously, you watch our offensive line, and Bill Biedenbaugh's done a great job with that whole unit playing together, and getting to the right people and executing blocks. Jerry Montgomery's done a great job with the inexperienced D-line, really has them playing well. Though, again, I'm excited about that group, how talented they are, and they're all young. They're all going to be back for a couple of years, and then Jay Bulware's done a great job with our special teams. I love what we're doing. The kickers are hitting it well, and we still have a few wrinkles to clean up, but it's progressing in a good way. Our returns have been good. We had another big kickoff return after they get within 6. We get it out to the 50-yard line on a kickoff return, and so they've all been very positive.
So it's a rebuilding year, more reloading, because you mentioned the younger guys. It looks like the future.
Well, I don't fault anyone. I know that's all I heard all year is who's going to play. Like we didn't have anybody, but you guys aren't able to watch. You're not watching practices and scrimmage and everything else, and we are. So we see these guys emerging and coming on and getting closer, and we never panic about it because we're going to graduate guys every year, and there's always new guys coming up ready to play.
A lot of your defensive guys have mentioned us kind of just having a chip on their shoulder because of, like you say, we assume that they're not going to be good enough because they haven't been playing. I mean, have you seen like a maturity out of those younger guys that allows them to kind of?
I've seen them like I said earlier. I've seen them prepare well. I've seen them practice hard, and I've seen them pay attention and having a strong attention to detail on what they need to do and how they need to do it. But then I think that we've done a good job as a group developing them, going against each other as much as we do all spring. I mean, there isn't a time that you have our best group against a second best group. It's good against good in individual drills and team settings and everything we do. And I've seen the D-line go against a good O-line and more than hold their own in many scrimmages over the last year. And again, so it's. So I see them developing and getting better, and we've made each other better, I think.
The classic question of coming back from a big win and being mentally ready like you just received is it's always that must be very difficult. But I wonder if for some teams it's actually easier. I mean, it's like the effort after a big win, they come back even stronger, even with more attention. Do you think you might have a team like that?
I hope I do, because the better teams do get better as you go through the year. And playing well like we did in a big setting on the road should give you more hunger, because the mistakes our players will see today when we're with them are so obvious that we can be better. And that's what we have to keep pushing for, to clean up some of those mistakes to even be better. And that's what we're after.
You made some changes to the defensive scheme this year, which I assume is more for what you're going to see in Big 12 play. How do you feel about that going into now it's Big 12 play?
So far it has been good. We do have a lot of some of the changes we did were primarily because of what we see in our league, the spread out formation. So to this point I've liked what I've seen. Obviously we've got more diversity, more speed on the field, more diversity to blitz, to pressure, and all those things, and different ways to cover with the speed that's on the field. So I've been pleased to this point on the defensive schemes or the changes we've made.
With that alignment, it seems like you're able to, especially Saturday, you showed a lot of different defensive looks with the same personnel.
Right.
It goes back to the old offensive deal about different formations without substituting. Is that an added benefit with this group, or the way you're using those linebackers? Sometimes they were stand-up ends, a couple times they were down ends. Was that?
Definitely, it gives you more multiple looks, you're more multiple in how you can blitz and move them around. So it's, there's definitely a purpose in it.
How have you seen Sterling develop since he first got here? And then also if you could talk about the chemistry between him and Blake. It seems to be really, really good.
Yeah, it is. Sterling's really emerged as a big play guy. We've always known he has that ability, but I think what's happening now is just more and more confidence on the field, more sure of himself, having played so much. And he was just outstanding. What you don't see, or if you go back and watch the game again, you should see him without the football in this game. It's really fun to watch. The guy was blocking everywhere, hustling, and that's what I'm most proud of. I thought he played outstanding when he didn't have the ball.
Can you talk about Sanchez a little bit, what you're seeing? And
Zach's a talented guy that's really playing well, really competed the other day. He's got great ball skills. They went after him right at the start of the game to see what he was going to do, and he couldn't have played it better. So he's really coming on, and he's a solid corner.
What's your injury situation?
We don't have any injuries. Everybody that is good to go. We didn't have, after the game, there wasn't any.
What level of surprise are you when you heard Saturday night or Sunday or whatever? You're typically not surprised by much, but when USC fires its coach after 4 games,
I don't.
That's got to be eye-opening, maybe.
Well, I don't know that anymore. It is. At the end of the day, I'm not going to comment on someone else's situation. It's always you feel for any coach, being a coach, in those situations for sure. But I also am very aware as administrations and universities have to do what they feel is right in their own situations. So, and of course, I think Pat Hayden's one of the best guys out there. So I'm sure it was difficult.
Bob, the talk will be Texas looking ahead with the public. TCU dangerous?
Always, and we know that, and this is every year we have Texas in the same position, so we always have someone before them and after them, and that doesn't, wherever they are doesn't matter to us. We're everything's all on TCU. Period. Again, around here we're expected to beat everybody, so you only beat everybody by being ready for everybody. So.
A follow-up on my question on USC. Is it alarming at all that things like this start in September now, even at a school like USC? I mean, I guess we saw it last year with Arizona, but.
Alarming. It's just the way the world is now. I don't know what to say about it. I'm not saying it's alarming. It's just, I said, people have to do what they feel is right for their program. So, at the end, that's just how it is.
For this season, TCU is projected as the best defense in the conference. At this point, are they playing at a high level on defense?
They play great defensively. Very, very, very sound, disciplined in how they play. They play hard, play with great technique. So, as a coach, you always appreciate that when you watch another team play that way.
They try to play multiple too, don't they? I mean, they line
Sure.
up at different fronts.
Yeah, they'll get in different looks for sure.
You talked about how you have to adjust your defense maybe for how the Big 12 is set up now. Did TCU have to do any of that from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even to?
No, they've got a good structure in what they do, and it adapts well. They've played well last year.
You talked about the confidence level of some individuals on your team, but obviously you said you don't circle a game like Notre Dame as the go-to game, but how big does that go for the confidence level of your team going forward as a whole?
Well, it should give them confidence to, again, as I said earlier, to go into a great environment with a good, excellent football team and to play like we did should give them confidence to, and hopefully gives them a hunger to want to do it more and better. More than anything, that's what I'd like to, for it to do.
Well, Patterson's been there now, ever how long? 14 years. Done a great job. Is there any difference in playing a team that's got a long-established coach, guy that's been doing things similar to you, been here that long? Is it any different preparing for a guy like that as opposed to a guy that might be second or third year in a program?
I don't see it being any different at all. I mean, Gary and I aren't going to play. It's just what's on the field, the players, and what what they do. So I don't see why it'd be any different.
The 2 trips inside the red zone that ended up in field goals. Is there any common theme there? I mean, one series was a backup quarterback, a freshman playing in his first road game.
And the running back goes the wrong way, or we might have scored. It was only second down. So, yeah, that's the common thread there on that one. I don't think it has anything to do with the other one.
The other one where Blake ran the option and didn't pitch it or whatever.
We missed a block. And if the other big guy isn't in there, we've got a chance to split that guy. So
I got a couple of questions on Saturday night from some readers. You know, this team still having trouble in the red zone, and I thought these two things.
Yeah.
What we saw is two different things, but
sure. I mean, a lot of people are going to have trouble in the red zone with Notre Dame. A lot of people have, and a lot of people will. They're not going to be perfect all the time.
Can you talk about what an extra week of preparation does for a team?
I don't know. As much as anything, that it just allowed us to get a lot of work against each other to keep building those fundamentals and bringing some of the guys that haven't played a lot along. And it allows you a little more rest, coming into the week. But then once you get into Monday, it's the same routine once you're into game week.
11 a.m. kickoff in Dallas.
Talk about that next week.
Fans don't like it, but do you like?
You asked me, do I like? This game this week was at 11. I'd take it every time.
You like 11s?
I think all coaches do. We get tired of waiting around all day. It's not tired of it, but you never mind it when you can go out, wake up, and go right at it, and get an easy chair at some point in the afternoon. There's still light out.
Was it strange playing a game without a big screen?
Yeah, I look for it. I can't tell you. Every time something happened, I'm trying to always see if I saw it right, or who missed what, and kept looking up there to no avail, and
Did your guys in the booth, did they have?
the guys in the booth had access to TV replay. So I'm assuming the Notre Dame coaches did as well. So we were able to talk through the issues we had.
You didn't like the nostalgia enough to turn yours off for a game? You didn't like the nostalgia of it enough to turn yours off for a game, did you?
No, I can't see doing that.
Anything else?
All right.
All right, we have Frank Shannon on deck.